Movement or Institution on the Black University by Preston Wilcox. 1. Earlier assumptions. Discussions and writings on the Black University reflect the difficulty which Black theorists face in overcoming the impact of Western thought and their essential distances, physically and dynamically, from the Black masses. While this is understandable, it is not necessarily excusable, unless such persons are willing at the same time to recognize that they have not yet unlocked the door leading to the authentic Black university. This reporter would like to qualify his effort at the beginning. He can only hope to offer some clues, some sensitizers, if you will, as to how an ideal, quote-unquote, model of a Black university might appear. A review of the literature of Black universities suggests that most proposals thus far have used the white-controlled, anti-people educational construct as a model. There's a quote here: "We must know that no new form or structure, no matter how creative it seems good to the person who feels that it will bypass him." It's a good quote, so I'll read it again. We must know that no new form or structure, no matter how creative it seems good to the person who feels that it will bypass him. Let's continue. Such efforts have been reactions to white schemes rather than articulation of Black enactments. The evidence for this assertion is seen in the proliferation of Black studies programs on white college campuses, the confrontation and collective begging, not bargaining, to achieve a genuine response from such institutions, and desertions of such campuses after the failure of negotiation to materialize, as is the case at Federal City College and Duke University. The Malcolm College, Durham, North Carolina, has arisen out of the ashes of the Duke confrontation. The Black education program at FCC is now supposedly operating in the community. The newest cliche, then, is that it is impossible to conduct a Black program on a white-controlled campus. This is not only a possible cop-out, but essentially an appeal to white conscience for legitimation of the Black consciousness. Conscience for the legitimation of Black conscious. Of the Black conscious. Such a position assumes that the majority of Black students have engaged in their own prior self-liberation before the confrontation. It is also based on the assumption that if white institutions approve the establishment of autonomous Black studies programs, such programs can effectively be constructed overnight. A second waning assertion that might be made is that the earlier innovations viewed the Black university as being a replica of the white one, only in technicolor. It is not and cannot be. It must, in the beginning and the end, become an endeavor that humanizes as it educates. It becomes a synergic and humanizing educational system. It is not a replica of whiteness or a reaction to it. In the least, it is an instrument of codifying the humanization process while building in the safeguards to protect one's right to be human. It is not a reaction to oppression. It is an attempt to overcome oppression without becoming an oppressor itself. It is not anti-white. It is an attempt to produce people who have no need to be anti-anything. It is not an attempt to compete with white institutions. Rather, it is an effort to build cooperativeness within the Black community. Builders of Black universities must comprehend that the issue for Black people is not their alienation from white people. It is their isolation from other Black people. The use of white university settings, format and form with slight revisions of curriculum content has been the major thrust of earlier achievements of Black universities. In general, the issue of credentials, course credit, professional rank, tenure, program scheduling and structure, financing, etc. have been major areas of concern. The preoccupation with gatekeeping, rather than with removing the gates altogether, reveals a heavy Western influence. Another point that might be made is that W.E.B. Du Bois and Booker T. Washington are viewed as being the essential prototypes to follow. Either one chooses to deracialize and decolonize white sources, Du Bois, or else one agrees to master them in order to later subvert them, Washington. This observer would submit that few of the legitimate architects of the Black university were fully educated within white institutions. They were educated at Selma, in Birmingham, in Harlem, in New York, Newark, and in Detroit during the rebellions. So Newark is not in New York City, it's actually in, oh my God, New Jersey, I forgot about it. So New Jersey is very close to New York. And New Jersey, actually, a lot of people who lived in New Jersey would then go to work in New York. And Newark is one of those kind of situations, and Detroit. Few of them ever sought white bestowed freedom. Rather, they liberated themselves even as they were locked behind bars. Few were willing to negotiate their own liberation with whites, or even believed that formal education alone was the gateway to freedom. This statement may be read by some to suggest that this observer is against formal education. That is a damned lie. This statement is not about formal education. It is about how to learn to create a Black university. 2. A beginning definition. The Black university already exists. It awaits expansion, deepening, and codification. It exists on street corners, in narcotic and alcoholic self-treatment groups, within liberation schools, with Black theater and political action groups, and within the minds of all Black people. It is the underlying revolutionary zeal embedded deep within every Black man. As Malcolm X puts it, you show me a Black man who isn't an extremist, and I'll show you one who needs psychiatric attention. The Black university is distinct from the white university. Its distinction from the it's distinct. I think it's distinct from the Negro College. It is a reaction to neither, a replica of neither. It is a synergetic and natural social institution that arises out of the bowels of the Black experience. Its most cherished reward, the underlying love of Black people. Its ultimate goal, the liberation and meaningful and collective survival of Black people. The ultimate test of validity, its impact on the lives of the Black masses. In an earlier statement, this observer made a distinction between Negro and Black history. He wrote, "Black history, as I see it, takes a look at the revolutionaries, those people who rejected with their bodies and their minds white oppression, and Negro history is about those who tried to accommodate themselves to it." The relevance of this distinction is that it forces one to look at the target of an endeavor and its multidimensional and historical aspects. They can be categorized as followed. Well, I'm gonna have to put the table here just so that you can see and read for yourselves, but I'm gonna go through it. I'm still gonna read it. Don't you worry. Indices, historically, indices target population goals, self-concept, concept of power, concept of education, setting form, and then rewards. So the Negro College, unchained slaves, house, become Toms to survive, appeal to white conscience. Substituted oppressors' values for their own, viewed Lincoln as a savior. The Negro College, or Black bourgeoisie, integration and internationalism, one world effective US minority, bestowed freedom, white bestowed superior to blacks, fear inferior to whites, whites in the mind, compete with whites, interdisciplinary tool to make it, use, manipulate others, college campus, bureaucratic, informal, college degree, rationalizing white oppression. Okay? It's okay, I don't think I did that right. Okay, let me try again. Okay, so the indices historically. The Negro College, unchained slaves, house bleeps, become Toms to survive, and they appealed to white conscience. Black University, chained slaves, field played toms to survive, and appealed to black consciousness, rejected oppression, and viewed Lincoln as a honky. That's crazy. This is hard to make out a little bit, this table, but I'm still going to try. So that the indices target population goals. In the black university, the black masses, black control, black nationalism, and the third world. And then the self-concept of the black university is effective world majority, self-earned liberation, black are achieved equal to occasion. Concept of education settings. Concept of education and setting form. Blacks on the mind, cooperate with blacks, intradisciplinary, tool to liberate and survive, use to liberate others, black community, natural and informal, and undying love of black people, alleviating black condition. I hope that makes sense. I am going to put it up for you to read. I'm not going to reread it again. These readings are long enough. I'm not trying to waste people's time. It's going to be on the screen. Don't worry. James Boggs has developed a useful formulation for comparing black and white educational programs. Sidney Walton Jr. has recorded in a challenging document, The Black Curriculum, what black people must begin to learn how to perform, think, and feel in order to achieve the desired goals. Stockley Carmichael's Black Power thesis is worthy of serious study and investigation. James Foreman's Black Manifesto articulates a new socioeconomic contract between black recipients and white donors. And already in several places, efforts have begun to create embryo black universities. The above table attempts to put all of these ideas together as a means to pose some questions and suggest some guidelines for defining the ultimately desired product. One of the most interesting formulations has developed under the leadership of M. Lee Montgomery, Dean of the Black University, convened in Atlanta, Georgia by the National Association for African American Education between August 20 and August 24, 1969. Montgomery sought to redefine the concept of black education from the traditional age-level guides, from preschool, elementary, and secondary, and college to childhood, youth, young adult, and adult. His position was that blacks must be educated for life, not just school attendance and jobs. He believed that black spirituality was an all-encompassing concept. It embodied science, reason, culture, politics, economics, physical and social issues, and the like. It could not be submitted to analysis by westernized tools. The critics of the Cultural Revolution then not only were applying a westernized analysis to an Africanized model, they also revealed their inability to understand it. To understand the Montgomery paradigm was to be black. The paradigm was completed by connecting the age-level guides, listen above, to the family, the neighborhood, and the municipality, and to the black nation. It included everything, since the black nation exists only as a part of the third world. 3. Learning how to do it. Oh gosh, okay. Hello. Don't, be crazy. Yo, we don't need to be crazy. Oh, okay, sorry, I got distracted. Learning how to do it. It would be less than sanguine. That's a really good word. That's a big word for Elmo. Sanguine. When last have I heard sanguine? It would be less than sanguine. Let me just double check sanguine.
Sanguine. Sanguine.
Okay, sanguine. Being cheerful, hopeful, confident, especially in a bad or hard time. That's a really good word, sanguine. Okay, sorry for not knowing how. Okay. It would be less than sanguine to suggest that the above statement is completely intelligible to all who read this. Neither would it be fair to suggest that, even if understood, the beginning concept lends itself to easy accommodation or attainment. It will largely be misunderstood because it destroys the concept of rewards as understood by whites. Also, it asks blacks to do what whites have planned not to do, to view the black masses as being educable, human, and worthy of superior effort and attention. Importantly, it asks blacks to utilize themselves in helping the black masses to achieve their own goals. The usual pattern has been for black educators to achieve their own goals at the expense of the black masses. The challenge within this statement rests not on one's willingness to surrender his own goals of Western vintage. The challenge offered is to urge blacks to link their destinies to those of the black masses. This point is made with the full understanding that most of my readers are following the guides listed in the Negro College column above. I further recognize, the thing is that this reading is a bit cut off. So it's either it or I further recognizes that Vincent Harding's now infamous letter to black college students will go largely unheeded. The hope here, however, is that some suggestions can be made that will initiate a learning how to create and participate in a black university process. In the last analysis, too few of us know what it is to behave, feel, and think authentically black, so that a willingness and investment in how to do so can lead to revolutionary consequences. The following suggestions are being made with a recognition that most black students will have to undergo a de-westernization, ification, decolonization, and a rehumanization process as they seek self-liberation. These then are beginning suggestions. Okay, it's A, B, C. Easy as 1, 2, 3. I was gonna say 1, but why would I do that when it's A, B, C? Okay, independent black study project. Every black student should involve himself in a self-directed, non-accredited, independent study effort of an issue of importance to blacks. It can be of an historical, scientific, political, or cultural nature, but it should be engaged in as a means to having one's mind for use on black issues. No such intellectual tradition exists in this country. Clock it. Predicting the literature crisis. B. Service to the black community. Every black student should be involved as a member, consultant, researcher, etc., with an indigenously based black organization throughout his college career. Black students do not have to leave the black community to achieve in the white world. If they do, they will only have to learn how to come, quote, back home. C. Writing papers on the black condition. Black students should find themselves writing papers on black-oriented issues no matter what courses they are taking. Lists of prospective assignments should be developed for circulation to black students. There is no course which cannot be made relevant to the black condition. Scientific colonization can be replaced by scientific humanism, i.e., science can be applied to humanizing the black condition. Okay, thank you. One could assert that the blackness of Charles Drew and George Washington Carver were important determinants in their choices of scientific preoccupations. A white doctor had no need for blood plasma. A black doctor concerned about his black brethren would have such an interest. Nutritional uses for peanuts, other than economic profit, would be a natural concern for a black scientist whose people were starving. Carver probably refused great economic rewards for his discoveries because he probably understood the westernized interpretations of such behavior. Money is much more an instrument of control than it is an instrument of meaningful survival. Or else, why are there so many black people starving in the richest nation on the face of the earth? Clock it. Clock it, clock it, clock it. D. The use of student funds to purchase land within the black community. Black students should be residing in, paying rent in, or collectively purchasing property within the black community. As the number of the black students increases and cooperative ownership expands, black communities can move closer to a total control. Black athletes should demand reparations, a share of the gate for black communal developments. E. Codification of black humanization technologies. Black students should be, I knocked my bottle over and it's carrying my phone, which is my microphone, Black students should be systematically engaged in efforts to codify ways and means for the Black community to humanize its existence. How can Blacks learn how to engage in cooperative socioeconomic relationships with each other? How can Black men and women learn to humanize their relationships? How can Negroes, Super Blacks, Afro-Saxons, Negro militants, and the Black bourgeoisie learn how to relate meaningfully to the soul bourgeoisie, authentic Blacks, African Americans, and Black revolutionaries? How can Blacks learn how to negotiate with each other and monitor each other as a means to building a collective action effort? How can Blacks learn how to negotiate when not to negotiate with whites? So how to and when not to negotiate with whites? How can Blacks extricate themselves for a need to be anointed as being human by whites and incorporate a need to conceive each other of their essential worth? Sorry, that's a lot. Those are big words for Elmo. I hope if you need to do it again, rewind again. I'm so sorry. I'll do it again one more time. But yeah, if you also want to rewind and listen to me mess it up, why not? So how can Blacks extricate themselves for a need to be anointed as being human by whites and incorporate a need to convince each other of their essential worth? Summary. Number 4. Oh my gosh, I'm illiterate. Number 4. Roman numerals are hard. Okay, Roman numerals are not fun. Summary. The position here is that the Black university exists without the generalized consciousness of it by Black educators. It is a movement, not a physical building or a formal social institution. It has no admissions requirements for Blacks. Its tuition fees are known as dues. Its faculty and its students are one and the same. It exists wherever Black people are. It is not a replica of the white university, nor does it discourage Blacks from attending such. On one level, it is the transformation of the Black world from oppression to liberation. It requires reason, effort, imagination, skill, and commitment. Black men, authentic ones, are teaching and learning in the Black university wherever they are. They are converting white entrepreneurism into Black economic cooperation, white competition into Black communalism, white-controlled Negro communities into Black-controlled Black communities. In the last analysis, the ultimate goal of the Black university is to liberate the Black world. It will take liberated minds, hearts, and souls to achieve this goal. It will take sustained participation in the Black university to produce these kinds of individuals. I think that's a beautiful reminder that we have to keep going. Even if we die for it, we have to keep going. I'm so sorry. Because you don't want to be Black anymore? Why? If people don't want to be Black anymore, question that. If the conditions of being Black are so horrible, question that, because we need to keep trying. We need to keep going if we are going to find any change. There was a really beautiful quote about how people who are pessimistic and people who will never get on board with social action are actually choosing the easy way out. To live miserable is to choose the easy way out. That's laziness. Y'all are lazy. Don't be lazy. Work hard for a better future, because it is possible. It is possible. We are so powerful and we really don't realize it.